A good topic for a podcast encourages people to actually click a play button and start listening to an episode. Here's how to find many podcast ideas and visually organize them so it will be easier for you to manage everything. We will do everything in Trello. You can create your account on Trello.com, and then when you log in, you will have this dashboard where you can create a new board. I'll click to create a new board, and here we add the board title. For example, I will call it New Podcast Ideas. You can also select the background over here. I'll leave this one. Then we'll create board. And here we have nothing. We can create the new list, and that's how we're going to create our ideas for the podcast. So this is our board where we create as many lists as we want. Let's close this menu. And in the list, let's add the general idea which you want to share on your podcast. For example, on my Marketing for Creative podcast, I talk about business and marketing tips. So I can start typing like online marketing tips or offline marketing tips. Those are going to be general ideas. I can also add something like Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing, YouTube marketing, and I can keep going here. So on every list, on every general category, we want to add more ideas. So these are our main topics. We want to add the subtopics, those ideas which we can create the podcast episode from. For example, in online marketing, in general online marketing, we can talk about let's say, how to use online marketing for business. And then I can create many ideas and put them here as the cards under one big category. Let's say for YouTube marketing, I can create something like YouTube tips for small businesses. And something like networking for introverts for online marketing. You can add more cards for each category, as many as you want, and you can add more lists. And then when you come up with a bigger topic, let's say YouTube tips for small businesses, think about how you can make it even more narrow, this topic. I'll show you some examples which I use for my podcast. Let's go back to the main Trello boards, and here are my podcast ideas. So you see, I got the general categories, like main categories, offline marketing, online marketing, YouTube video marketing ideas, Facebook marketing. Those are the general topics which I think would be suitable for my podcast. And then I got many ideas which I wrote here. I just wrote everything which came to my mind. And then here I can use two things. First, I can come up with the ideas as I showed you before, or I can think about something I saw online already. For example, I like how Casey Neistat does his vlogging, and I can put this idea here. Even for now, I don't know who I'm going to interview there. So the idea came from the person who I follow and whose work I saw. So I put the idea for the title of the podcast episode, and I put the note that it may be something like Casey Neistat's vlog. I also can put there the names of people who I think may be suitable for the podcast interview, because I know those people write about this or talk about this. So I put some notes here, like the name of the potential episode and the name of the person who I can interview. When I put down here all of my ideas, I take each title and think about what could I ask there. Let's say how to advertise on Facebook to reach your potential clients. What can I ask inside of this episode if I would have a guest for that? And then I came up with another idea, that people may not get results with Facebook ads. So here's what I can share. Also, sometimes I like to put here the ideas which I find online. Let's say I saw Joe Pulizzi wrote his either article or he created a piece of content on this topic, and I put it here. I may rephrase it later, but right now I like the idea and I want to keep it for myself. Maybe I can find a guest for that and I will then rephrase it somehow, or maybe I can just do the solo episode with the part of this, how to find your content marketing idea. Just forget about the ending here. So these are your drafts. These are something that you brainstorm and you can always change. Another thing which I like about Trello, that you can put labels here. You see, some of my notes have yellow labels. For example, if I select a note, I can put a label here and I can rename them. I can click Edit and give a name to this specific label. Now for these several labels, several colors, I created their names and I know that, for example, yellow means interesting, and for all my yellow labels, those are the episodes which I think would be interesting to my audience right now, and I potentially can interview someone on this topic in the near future. Then I have some more notes, like a green schedule for the interview already, or I have an idea about the author, or I send the request. For example, for this episode, for this idea, if I click on the labels, you see they became bigger and I could see everything which I put here. So I think this idea is interesting. I have an idea about an author. I put the author here and I sent a request. And even for this episode, Jeff did not accept my invitation. I used the same idea to record another episode on my podcast. Any notes you want to put here, you just add a new label, or you can remove it easily. And then every time you open your Trello board, you will see what are you working on right now, what is interesting, and how you can manage this. Did you find the author about this? Did you send any requests? You can add your own labels. Just think how you can better organize that process. Using the way I just showed you, I came up with more than 40 ideas right away when I started creating the lists and cards with the potential topics. Before I launched the Marketing for Creatives podcast, that was one of my biggest struggles. What if I won't have the ideas for the interviews? What am I going to do then? When you brainstorm your podcast ideas and put them for yourself as the notes, you can always be sure that you will have a good topic to talk about. Then, all you need is to find a guest who can cover that, or record a solo episode based on your ideas. Once you're done with your podcast ideas and found the guest that you want to interview, you would want to plan them in a schedule. Watch this video where I show you how to create your visual calendar with the upcoming episodes and manage them simply using drag and drop.